Think about your favorite sport. Don't worry if your team won or lost last night. Instead, focus on the difference between a winning team and a losing one. They both have the same goals. They want to score, to win the game, and eventually they want that cup at the end of the season. There's a big difference between them. You might say that the winning team has more talent, more luck, or a better strategy, or even that they're more disciplined on the field. You might even say they have a better coach. That's the whole difference. You see, winning teams and losing teams have the same goals, but the difference is the systems behind them that drive their success. In the business world, we have the same kind of systems. And like a great sports team, they can make all the difference between winning and losing. Over the past few years, some thought leaders have taken a group of systems and best practices and created these frameworks for businesses, which we call business operating systems. Your business, no matter what size it is, should be running on an operating system. Now, as a self-described super nerd of all things strategy and execution, this is a topic I love. I could go on all day, but I'm going to try to contain myself. In the market today, there's three major business operating systems: EOS, the Entrepreneurial Operating System, Scaling Up, and Metronomics. Each of these has a ton of pros and cons and fit differently into different size businesses. Before we dive in, it's important to know that all three of these operating systems have shared bones. They're based at their core on many of the same thought leaders' work: Jim Collins, Bert Harnish, so many others. You'll see elements like ROCs, quarterly goals, core values, getting the right people in the right seats across all of these operating systems. And in this video, I'm going to help you understand which one is the right fit for your business. First up is EOS. EOS is the market leader with hundreds of thousands of businesses running on it. It's your entry-level business operating system. It's simple to implement, and done right, it's transformative to your business. It comes from a book called Traction by Gino Wickman, the founder of EOS. This book gives you all the secrets to setting it up and getting it running within your business. There's 6 key things that are covered under EOS. There's your vision, data for smart decision making, and in your processes, ensuring everybody's following the same processes. Traction, which is what they call the execution component, the managing of issues, and getting the right people in the right seats. All of this comes together in what they call the VTO, your Vision Traction Organizer. EOS is what I call a prescriptive operating system. It tells you exactly how to do each of these components, how to run your meetings, and how to go through your planning cycle. It's designed for you to work purely within EOS. This is a good thing, especially when you get started, because it keeps it simple and doesn't add extra complexity where you don't need it, and really gives you a roadmap to your basic success. You can implement EOS yourself, or you can hire an EOS implementer to guide you through the process. If you're just getting started or you have a small business, EOS is absolutely fantastic, and I strongly recommend it. It has the simplest set of tools, and you can implement it immediately and start to transform your business. I absolutely love their level 10 meeting. For most small businesses, the framework covers just about everything you need. As your business grows up, though, it will likely outgrow EOS. The tools are simple, but that simplicity becomes a limitation in the long run. And the lack of strategy and cash flow strategies end up being a giant red flag. I've worked with a ton of businesses that either are running on EOS or have upgraded from EOS to what we call EOS gets an MBA. They have the great discipline right from the start, which I love, and they're in a beautiful place that we can build on it. Also, I want you to beware of the myth of the EOS life. This is where they say a business owner can be just the visionary and everything runs smooth without you. Yes, achieving this is possible, but it has to be very well engineered. And just because you're running on EOS doesn't make that happen. The next one is called Scaling Up, which comes from the Rockefeller Habits 2.0. This is the granddaddy of business operating systems. It was really the first one out there, and it's incredibly powerful. Note, I was originally trained in the 4 decisions framework. This book is the one that got me excited about business operating systems. It focuses on the 4 decisions that every business needs to get right: people, strategy, execution, and cash. If you already know EOS, core scaling up will be very familiar. As I said before, they share the same bones. They both run the same quarterly planning cycle, break their goals into what they call rocks, and have a great meeting rhythm. Just one of them has a TM beside the name. The other one's almost exactly the same. Where EOS is designed for simplicity and smaller businesses, scaling up has a much stronger set of tools across the board and dives into 2 areas that EOS doesn't touch: strategy and cash. In the strategy element, they provide a great set of tools to target and differentiate your business. Cash is the fuel for growth. Without it, it's game over. With tools like the power of one and the cash conversion cycle, scaling up really helps you maximize your cash flow. The strategic plan in scaling up is called the one-page strategic plan. It's fantastic. It's one big, giant one-page view, answers all the key questions about where your business is going and how it will get there. One of the great things about scaling up is how easy it is to layer other frameworks into it as needed. Their strategy framework isn't the one you want. You can plug in Blue Ocean Strategy or Playing to Win to really level it up. If you need more work on trust and team building, you can add the 5 dysfunctions of a team by Lencioni. All these work incredibly well within scaling up. This is a framework that I recommend you have a coach to help you implement. Yes, you can buy the book. It reads like a textbook. You might fall asleep. Yes, you can also implement individual tools, but the real value comes when you have somebody who can draw you through it and help you build that roadmap to your great business. The third framework is called Metronomics. You probably haven't heard of it. Consider EOS your high school diploma, and scaling up is your bachelor's degree, while Metronomics is your master's degree. It comes from one of the top scaling up coaches who saw some gaps there and started to build out something a lot deeper. It is by far the most powerful of the business operating systems. It works with the metaphor that business is a team sport, and it strongly ties together vision, strategy, and other hard edge systems with people, team, culture, and the soft edge systems. And this approach really pulls all the elements together nicely. To do this, it leverages the work of many of the great thought leaders out there, including Patrick Lencioni with their 5 dysfunctions of a team, Brad Smart's top grading for building great teams, and a ton of Jim Collins' work. As I said before, it shares the same bones as scaling up in EOS, with quarterly rocks, the planning cycle, and whatnot, but it tends to put more and more onto that skeleton. Of all the operating systems out there, Metronomics has the strongest strategy and cash flow components. This is really important if you're building a truly scalable business. Their strategy components are generally based on Blue Ocean Strategy and Playing to Win, 2 of the Bibles for business strategy. The challenge with Metronomics is the complexity. I do not recommend trying to self-implement this. And even though the book tells you exactly how to do it, you will want a senior coach to really help drive things and implement it inside your organization. Many of the coaches in their community come from scaling up in EOS, making them some of the most experienced coaches out there, an absolute amazing addition to your leadership team. If you do implement, you will need to implement Metronome Growth Systems, their software solution as well. It is a great tool for organizing and managing every aspect of your plan. This is an awesome system. Don't get me wrong. If you're a large or fast-growing company, this is kind of the pinnacle. There's a lot of commitment needed, and it will serve you very, very well. If the business operating provides you with the key systems to be able to build that great team and get things going, and then the true 10x factor comes from the support you get when you implement it. With every one of these systems, you could self-implement, but often those implementations fizzle. You get along the way and it starts getting difficult, or you get busy. And there's no one really to hold you accountable, so it just falls to the wayside. Getting the right help to get you on that road and a guide for the process can make all the difference in the world. With EOS, you get what they call an implementer. If your implementer is following the EOS rules, they're quite dogmatic about things. They really are just teachers of the operating system. They're not coaches, they're not facilitators, they don't provide opinions. They're there to show you how to implement the tools. That said, there's some awesome implementers out there who go beyond the rules and will help you truly build your great business. EOS implementers usually help out for around 18 months, which is long enough for you to get good at the operating system. Unfortunately, that's also when you're getting good enough at execution that you could really dive deeper and transform that business, and your support's gone. When you're looking at tools like scaling up in Metronomics, you're generally hiring a much more experienced business coach. Now, this isn't a small business coach. This is somebody who's been there, done that, probably been an executive in a business or a serial entrepreneur who's gone through years of training to go in and become a scaling up or a Metronomics coach. They're there to help build a great leadership team, and they bring a lot more to the table. Frankly, having someone who can guide you to build that breakthrough leadership team is possibly the most important part. With that team, any of these frameworks will help you fly. So, what's the right time to implement a business operating system? Well, right now. If you're a solopreneur or just building out your first team, you should look at implementing EOS. There may be some elements that don't apply yet, but for the most part, it'll transform how you build your business. Creating your VTO brings clarity. Rocks and the execution disciplines drive you to work on your business, not just in it. EOS works well through the small business phase and even into the start of the medium business phase. Then you start to outgrow it and need deeper tools, especially in the areas of strategy and cash flow and building your growing team. That's where scaling up and Metronomics come in, and they shine. They take the disciplines you learned in EOS and give it an MBA with a stronger set of tools that will truly shift your trajectory. You're unlikely to outgrow either of these frameworks. Instead, you'll find your leadership team cascading them down, having divisions and teams with their own one-page strategic plan and strategies aligned to the company's top-level plan. I've seen scaling up implemented in $500 million companies and still thriving with it. And it's a moment of joy for all of us business nerds. I believe that there's a best-of-breed approach. There's going to be elements of every one of these systems, which you can bring together to build something that meets your unique business needs. The goal is to build a great business and to grow it sustainably. A great business is healthy, so it has a great culture and leadership, smart, clarity around the vision, and a winning strategy, disciplined so it can execute time and time again, and it's growing, creating great opportunities externally and for all of its stakeholders. When you start merging the best elements together, you end up with this powerful framework that meets you where you need and is still flexible enough and adaptive that it can change on the fly and as you need for your business. If you look at your business like a sports team that wants to truly win, you need to ask yourself, what systems do you need to support you? Frankly, you need a business operating system to weave all of these individual systems together. If you go back to your favorite sports and you look at that difference between the winning team and the losing team, the winning team does have better talent. It does have better strategies. It is able to execute time and time again. It has systems behind the scenes that ensure all of that so that they win time and time again. That, for your business, is called a business operating system, and you need one. They also do have great coaches, and the coach is that 10x factor that helps you truly win. Are you ready to take the next step and become the winning team?